We are relational animals. We are nothing else but in relation. When I was growing up, I was always, I'm the youngest of 12, right? 10 boys, 2 girls. I was always the brother of somebody. I was never Brendan. And I yearned for an identity of my own just for a moment, but it never exists. It doesn't exist, never does, and it never will. Now, the irony of it is now, years later, the flow has gone the other way. Now, oh, you're Father Brendan's brother. Oh, you're Father Brendan's parents. Oh, nice to meet you. So there is a certain flow and circle of life, right? And it's all because who do you know, right? Because we know through a relationship, and then you relate to them by who you know. And now there's sort of an ebb and flow back and forth that depend on, and it's true for all of you. Every one of us is the same. Here's the thing about God. If we don't experience God's love in our heart, it's very hard to enter into this whole thing of being church. It's very hard to enter into the whole thing of divinity if we don't feel the love. Now, what I mean by that, experience and feel the love, is because that's what transforms us. This love that God offers us free, without anything that we need to do. God is trying to pour out his love to us, and we're called to just accept it. And once we accept this love, it changes us. It totally changes us. Because once we know we're loved, despite our weaknesses, our brokenness, and maybe even our sinfulness, that God loves me just the way I am. That's transformative. I remember when I was a young child. You can imagine how hard it is to get the attention of your father when there's 12 of you. But I remember really clearly one instant where I was laying on my father's lap. He was reading the newspaper. And I was lying on his lap, and I had my head on his hand. I remember seeing the size of his hands, marveling at the size of his hands, and the wrinkles and the worn hand, and then just feeling safe, that I was held, and I was always going to be safe in these hands. There's no way to express how transformative that moment is. And somewhere in my late teens and maybe early 20, I remember having a sort of a conundrum in my life with friendships and school. And I went to my father for advice. And he goes, sit down, let me tell you. And I just always remember the calming presence. They just said, everything's going to be okay. You think this is so important right now, but it will pass. I promise you, it will pass. And in that moment, in my adulthood, I felt safe again. In that safety, I understood what love was. It wasn't so much about having the right thing to say, but saying it the right way. It's important that we understand that when we allow the Father to transform us, and our fathers are a good example for that, but that we're called to pass that love on, to keep the flow of the Trinity alive by passing this love on to others. We're not called to hold on to it to ourselves, but to pass this love on to others, to allow this presence to transform not just us, but all those around us.